you're at a place right now where there was some turmoil over some issues, and then we see Alabama the other day with a player that does a couple things. But I know you know what's going on there. The kid throws a mouthpiece. He refuses the board coming off the field. I know already what you're going to say as far as Nick Saban. If he was coaching that team, I know that kid would have been off the football field, to say the least. But there's a podcast that I want to show first, Bailey, and I want to get your take on this Alabama podcast that mentioned, I'm sure you know him very well, but take a listen to this podcast that was done the other day, Bailey. Can you put it in there?
13 Malachi Moore. Now, brother, I don't know you, but I'm not trying to disrespect you. But what you did last night on that football field was complete and utter bullshit. You are a two-time captain, somebody who has your hand and footprint at Denny Chimes. Well, how did you show up yesterday? The only thing I remember seeing from you is slamming the guy's head on the ground unnecessarily, punching yourself, throwing your mouthpiece, kicking a foot in front, like not even in a way of like, okay, nobody's looking. Like, I'm bigger than the game. I'm bigger than the team. I'm bigger than this moment. Hey, everybody look at me. Look at how pissed off I am. Look at what I got to say about it. Let me pick up a ridiculous 15-yard penalty for literally no apparent reason. And you call yourself a two-time captain? I can tell y'all what would have happened in the days that I was there. We would have tried to rip the C off of his jersey. We would have lit him up from every coach, every player, Reuben Foster, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deron Payne, Jalen Hurts, Jerry Jeudy. Everybody would have been on this dude's head. Like, what? Like, we don't do that. What's up with that?
Factor cap. Ooh. So wait up. If Damian Harris is saying his era would have did that, then I know y'all era would have buried the motherfucker somewhere. So I'm trying to figure out, is this factor cap what Damian Harris is saying?
I mean, I think it's fact of what he's saying would have happened. But I've never seen this before, right? And I don't think that, I don't know what the hell just went on, but I don't see this.
Fireworks cracking behind your head, homie. What's going on? Is Smitty there? Is Smitty at your house?
Hey, he might be, man. I don't know, man. It's one of them things that it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened.
Right. So you're saying it would have never even happened.
It would have never happened.
Great point.
Now, the dogs of all dogs and crazies of crazies, it wouldn't have came from Rolando McClain. And that's the captains of all captains. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody else would have did that, it wouldn't have went down like at all. I don't know what's going on. This is the new iPhone.
I think it's Apple. Apple phones do it sometimes.
Yeah. And so for me, man, I get it from both ends. And you know me, I'm always keep it real. I think Malachi's at the stage to where it's like, bro, like, you letting this happen. Like, we've been telling you, like, this is the SEC. This ain't nothing we can chill and, you know, go podcast and and, you know, I'm not talking about nobody podcast, but it's a lot of distractions going on that don't have nothing necessarily to do with ball, and it's starting to show. Like, if you look at that game, Vandy ran the same offense Georgia did that second half, and they continued to do what they was doing in that second half that Georgia did through that whole game. And so when you see stuff like that, like, this is a copycat league. I'm going, JB, how many times you done seen a program go out and whoop this or give this program a hard time, this next team, and we can use that. Let me put my little flavor on it, though. Now, does that happen 24/7 in the league? Yes, it do. We just put it in different sets.
T-Rich, I've been saying it for a while, man. This Micah Parsons podcast shit with what they say with the ops. He's got Darius Slay on his show right after a game. All this shit, to your point, what you just said, is adding up. And I love Smitty. Smitty will be back Thursday, but Smitty, you know, JB, they can do it. Listen, you could do whatever you want. I'm not saying don't, but like Eric Weddle comes on Mondays and he wins the Super Bowl, and I think he has a little bit of credibility in saying, I used to tell my young kids, even Jalen Ramsey, when I was raising him on the, to being around him, mentoring him early on, do that shit in the off season, man. You only got 4 and 5 months of this, and you're making more money than you ever will in your life. 5 months to give your full-on focus to the sport that pays you, the sport you chose to play and love. Let that other shit go aside, man. Get on your podcast in the springtime after the season and talk about the season. Like, I don't understand during the game. It just tells me your focus is all over the place and wonder why we're seeing a product that's not the same product as when T-Rich played college or in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, and see, this is what happens with that, right? Like, the league is so soft now, or football is so soft now. Like, guys are not meeting like we used to. Like, you get guys that's done in the NFL at 12 sometimes, maybe 2 max, 2 o'clock max. So what do they have to do with the rest of their time? And like, you don't want them hanging out with family in the NFL. You don't want them being around your friends and stuff like that. So what do these guys have other to do other than spend money, get in trouble? Okay, let's promote our time to something else, and it can make us money, right? And so I get it, but it's like, bro, like dedicate to your craft. And I'm telling you, from a person that should have done more, with dedicating to my craft when I got to the next level.
But you should have done more, or retrospectively speaking, you see now that you could have done more. I don't know if you should have done more at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I could have done more.
Give yourself more credit. You're a 1%er. Like, I don't think people realize. Like, I talk shit to Dan Orlovsky all the time. We go back and forth, and he won't come on the show but he'll call me for advice and shit, but he won't come on the show. And so I call his ass out, and he got all mad. JB, what'd I do to you? I'm like, well, fuck all that. You didn't come on the show, and you talking that shit about cover 2. And your ass played. But Dan Orlovsky is still a 1%er.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many cats would have wanted to step out of that back of that end zone in that game? I don't care if you want to clown them all you want. Y'all bag groceries at Walmart. He was in the NFL. Sorry. There's a huge difference. I don't care about what you all say and want to talk shit about. The guy played in the NFL. I mean, it is what it is. T-Rich played in the league, and you just saw him score multiple touchdowns in the league. He's a 1%er and a Bama legend. I got to ask you, in breaking news, right before you got on here, before we go back to some Alabama talk, Robert Saleh was just fired week 5 of the season for the New York Jets. Shocked? Is that shocking? I'm here. I don't know if you got to play with Ulbrich or not, but Coach Ulbrich's the interim head coach. I don't know how they keep the OC there as bad as they look. And and would Nick ever entertain going back to the league? Someone called like this?
I doubt it. Nah, Nick, he ain't going no league because Nick got to run his pro. He got to run his stuff, and he ain't. Man, look, Nick making buku money at Bama still right now, right? And he got the most time in the world, and he don't even know what to do with himself. Miss Terry got onto his tail a couple weekends ago by coming home at 2 in the afternoon and said, "What the hell you doing here?" Like, I stay here. So it's one of them things. Like, and talking
on McAfee show, on College Game Day, he having fun.
Coach enjoying himself, man. Yeah, he enjoying himself, man. One thing I asked Coach last year, because I was talking about getting to coaches, he was like, one thing you got to realize, man, I spent more time with any one of y'all I have spent with anyone. I've never spent a full day with any one of my kids. And now I got these grandkids I can't spend no time with. You're like, so when you go start coaching, I know you family, you big on family, you adopt all those kids at that moment. And it hit me like, dang, coach, I didn't realize how much time you did spend with us, or, making all these, guys millionaires, you know what I'm saying? And
then off the field, when we're not around, I'm bringing you to my boat, go fishing, I'm bringing you to the house. People don't realize that these cats ain't building relationships no more, T-Rich. It's all about money, bag chasing. If there was relationships, I'm just telling you, I don't care if it's NIL or not, cats will stay still. They'll stay because they'll buy in. They'll buy into you. JB, Coach, and Saban would sell you on what? The NFL, which he sent more guys to than anyone. Listen, why are you worried about chasing the bag now at 18? I'm going to get you to the NFL and make real long-term money, not this short-term money that you're going to go cluck off anyway because you don't even know how to manage it anyway.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, man. Listen, there's this video going around, and we saw the kid at Alabama do what he did. We saw a kid at South Carolina pull out the Mossberg on a motherfucker. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on, but I don't. And
he did what? I missed that.
You ain't seen the South Carolina video?
Nah, I missed that. TJ's birthday was this weekend, so
there's a gang of it. Oh, there's a gang. Look at this.
Wow.
That's not the only one, by the way. The cat pulled out several straps in this past weekend's games. But look at this video. Look at this video real quick before you even comment on that. Look at this youth football shake line after a game. And I know this is going to touch you because you're in the youth football world and see it. But I believe this is why we see what we just saw. Look at this shit.
Yep.
Hey, like, we grew up like, I wish a motherfucker would. How are the coaches allowing this shit right here? That's number one. I got to ask you, wait up. Is this kid running the show? Are you already scared, T-Rich? Are you already scared to lose a youth Pop Warner kid to another youth Pop Warner team? And you wonder why we see it in high school, college, and now the NFL and Devontae Adams and these other guys demanding trades under contract. You think it's not going upwards. It is.
Oh, no, man. It's definitely starting at Little League. Like, these kids, like, bro, like, I've had – so my nephew, and this is – I ain't going to get to him yet. But these kids are running these leagues, bro. Like, they throwing their weight around. And if you can't tell a kid, bro, that is wrong, you don't need to be doing it. If you bring a belt out here, like, we clown. Like, I didn't know that was a real thing, man. Like, listen, this is exactly why I brought my prop on here today to talk about this. This, man, JB, I'm telling you, man, we ain't talked before this or nothing. I was just about to talk about this. Like, bro, that like, what are we doing, fellas? Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing to the game as the discipline part? And these, first of all, these other coaches too. Man, you see a little ass kid doing that, man. Come on, man. Like, me and that head coach gonna have real problems, and me and your parents gonna have problems too. Because, listen, man, you don't do stuff like that, man.
From you and I know both of us came up pretty rough, and we got beat with belts and switches, and my dad and my mom, shit.
Yep.
Let me ask you something. That's oxymoronic to show that belt and allow that belt out there when your ass ain't been beaten by it ever. You know damn well, little boy, you ain't been beaten by that mug. And your parents and coaches who are allowing you to walk out there not knowing why you're holding that belt. We would have known not to fuck around with that belt because we used to get our ass whipped with the belt. It's oxymoronic to see some kid who's never been hit with one to walk out there and hit another kid with it. Like, what are we doing? Like, man,
it would have never came to our mind, bro. Like, that's not even a thought to even do that to another person, man. And you know what that belt to ass really mean? Like, I get it. We winning and you losing, and I get that. But belt to ass, what that really mean? It's the same. It's been the same thing in the music industry. Yeah. Same thing. Like, we live that life. Like, we try to get away from it, and y'all are trying to get into it, which is crazy, right?
Speak on that, because that's what I said yesterday. I said we did this to get out the hood, away from this the violence, away from all that, still be able to go back home to the hood and see the OG homies that were in that life, but they knew we're athletes, we're football. Hey, what up, though? Yep. Nowadays, these cats want to do that on the football field. Another dude pulled out some shit. I saw the video. He pulled out some shit, and then he shot the motherfucker from a distance because he locked him down at corner. And I'm like, what are we doing, homie? Do you realize what you're even doing? And I looked it up, right? I looked it up because I'm like, let me look this up. T-Rich, we call them fake-ass good boys growing up. These motherfuckers they have money. They had rich family. They went to private school, John Morant style, right? And then these motherfuckers want to act tough and be gangster until it's time to be gangster. And then you see they ass crying like a baby in jail, or when the cats really got them down in the hood. And these motherfuckers scared as hell, but they sure tough when it comes to a rap song or on a football field. And I'm just saying, eventually, like these rappers have been doing, these guys that have been actually getting put down for saying shit on wax, when is the so-called ops going to drive by the dorm or a frat party and spray up my team at a party because your dumbass went out there and did some shit like that? I said it yesterday. If I'm the coach right now at South Carolina, I'm looking at this kid like, you just put my whole goddamn team in jeopardy in today's social media era. Because everybody could be like, oh, let's go find this motherfucker. He think he hard. And you know, Bully don't have no names. So I'm trying to figure out, dog, it's crazy how we're seeing this and how we're allowing it, T-Rich. How we're allowing it and not coaching it is the part that blows my mind. It's really the adult in the room that I blame, because a kid only knows what he knows and don't know what he don't know.
Yep. Man, listen, listen. Forbid me, if my sons was to ever say something about being from the hood, man, I would embarrass them on spot. I had to tell a coach last year. You know, both of the teams, you know, it's a national rank game. They going at it back and forth. It's a local game for real, but it's a national game. And you got one of our coaches, and this is why I got out that program. You got one of our coaches in the middle of the damn field saying, we out the hood, we from the hood, we hood babies, this and that. And I looked at that dude, man. I said, listen, man, hold on. My son stay out here in Deer Park, in Trustville. Come on, bro. Nah, we ain't doing that. That's not. I get it. You know, we silent. We you know, we come where we come from. Where we come from. We ain't talking about these babies. That ain't nothing to just go put out there and be like, they some hood babies and this and that. Or like, that's like, what are you promoting here? All these guys are friends. Them kids play together afterwards and before. Like, what are we doing?
T-Rich,
it's a talk thing, and I'm saying that because it's a talk thing. That kid act like that. His kid act like that. It's a talk circumstance, and you giving these kids the game, right? That's the game that we're getting. Still at 2024. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man. I don't know. You mentioned that under the Saban regime, your era, even Damian Harris era, it wouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It would never even have got to the point of this kid telling DeBoer, I'm not coming off the field, A. B, I kicked the football from the ref. C, I threw a mouthpiece at the opponent's sideline. You saying it would have never even happened. Play the DeBoer video, Bailey. What's your take on what DeBoer had to say about the kid? And I want to get your take on what you think should have happened to him going forward.
Mentioned that Malachi had been held to account by the coaching staff to some extent. Is there anything that you can add to that? And was this a situation where a suspension would be considered?
No, we have handled it, and I'm just going to say this about Malachi. You know, what he did, he has gone above and beyond in owning, taking ownership in it. And this is pretty much immediately after the game to this morning, things that are all prompted by him, but also part of just our conversations. The guy, I think the thing I want to make sure Bama fans know is that this guy has been rock solid and been at a critical piece, along with others. There are some others as well, of keeping this thing together since January, okay? When a lot of people, guys chose to leave, this guy stood firm.
T-Rid, okay, I see you watching that, and I asked Bailey to find something real quick because I want to just do a compare and contrast on the two different personalities. Now, look at Kalen DeBoer. Hey, man, you're a winner. You've won everywhere. You're doing a great job, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Alabama don't lose to Vanderbilt. They're the worst SEC facilities, resources. It's a private institution. You got to be very smart to get in there. And he's cut, moving forward. He's done, moving forward. Nick Saban would have been on there with a Coca-Cola and a smile, and it wouldn't have been on that word salad. Like, I just heard a bunch of shit. I don't know what was really said. Like, I don't know what was really said right there. I just heard a lot of Nick Saban would have been, he's done. Next question. Like, that's how it was, right? It was either this way or this way.
See, it's so many ways to look at this, man. From like, because I know Nick as in, all right, we're gonna cut the head off the snake, Nick. But I know Nick too on the other side of being, I don't want to send that guy back to the hood or send him back home. What trouble he's gonna get into? Then I seen him as the media already gonna crucify this kid, but you're gonna run your head. You're gonna run. You might sit out a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Something is gonna be done. Like, which is, I get it. The kid's embarrassed now, this and that, but you caused this. You threw the temper tantrum, and I get it. You're frustrated because you're not used to what you've been used to. You're not used to fighting to the last second. And it ain't been like that for a couple of years now, right? And what you was recruited by and what you was used to, as far as not having DJs in the meeting room, being able to meet longer, being able to meet, like right now, these guys getting off early. The kids got an off day today. It's Tuesday. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's different for them. And so
here's the difference right here. Look at the difference, T. Rich.
Look, I don't have an opinion about everybody else's opinion. I don't have an opinion about, we try to do the right things. We try to provide positive leadership for our players. Like I said, on Monday, we're trying to elevate our players' chances of having success in their life through their personal development, academic support so they can graduate and develop a career, and, what kind of career they can develop as a football player. But a part of that is also providing leadership to elevate people around them by using their platform in a positive way. So, and as I said earlier, I'm pleased with the way that happened, and that's that.
It wasn't that clear from DeBoer. Listen, I get it. DeBoer's new. I'm gonna give him. I'm not gonna crucify him over a loss. There's upsets now. I call it watered down football. I don't think it's upsets anymore. I think everybody has an opportunity nowadays because we just saw 12 of them lose Saturday, and now everyone's saying it's parity. Parity, T. Rich. It's parity. I think it's shitty football. That's just me. Vanderbilt should never beat you guys, right?
No, they shouldn't. But I knew it was coming. But this, when we asked the question last week, I said we should win because it's the SEC, bro. It's no matter what Saturday it is, you're bound to lose.
I brought this up yesterday, and I'm like, I'm telling these guys, and I said, listen, this team is in the SEC.
Yep.
It's not Toledo beating Mississippi State. That shouldn't ever happen. Appalachian State beating Texas A&M. That should never happen. A team in the league, they're going to win a game every 20 years. They're in their league at least. So this is not the shocker that we're seeing. Marshall beat Notre Dame. Appalachian State beat A&M. Toledo dragging Mississippi State. What?
But even if you look at it, like, it's not even.
Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame.
But this is what not only we see, a lot of other people see too, because a lot of people not even talking about this loss. Like, they're not even talking about, like, this was the shocker of all shockers. Like, we get it. It's the SEC. You're going to find that one that's going to – and this is what and for real, man, I think that them coaches, I think – and I love DuBois. I think that the coaches, I think the staff, and I think that the new players and the transfers that came with them needed to see. They needed that punch in the mouth to never have that feeling again. Hopefully that, brings that, or it's going to make or break you. You're going to lose your will. You're going to tuck your tail, or you're going to go out there and say, you know what, I get it. I get it. This is the makers of makers. Everybody playing in that championship game against us. I get it.
And
It's do or die over here.
Alabama's been this current Colorado program for 30 years. Everybody wants to beat Alabama. Alabama is the Lakers, the Yankees, the Patriots of
Dallas
college
Cowboys,
football.
if they want to call it.
Everybody want to beat them like they do Colorado now. Well, guess what? Alabama's been that for a long, long time, and that new head coach has to go in there and endure a new winning program. By the way, I tell you this all the time, T-Rich. You can talk about rebuilds all you want. I've rebuilt all these different programs that were so bad that go in every. It could be harder to rebuild something that's not broken. It could be actually harder to go in there and take on. That's why I never coached like white boys, nice facility. I've always coached hood kids in the hood and rebuilt it because I want to get my hands on it. So it's my baby. I got to put my blood, sweat, and grease on it. And then I can say, hey, I built it. And then I left it there and I went to another place. I did the same thing. I never took the place that wasn't broken because, first of all, expectations are through the roof. As we see right now, we're already crucifying this dude because he lost to Vanderbilt. But a week earlier, you're making him the coach of the year for beating Georgia. See how quick this changes? Like, that's why, man. People are so finicky, and they live in the now. What have you done for me lately? World. That's football, though. Results-oriented business. Where are you at now? That's the business, man. And guess what? That's why I believe coaches should be able to leave and go to another program at 40, 50, 60 years old and not a 17-year-old getting to go wherever he wants because a coach yelled at him or told him he wasn't going to play. Another topic real quick, Bailey, if you can find it. Clinton Dix, another Alabama legend, is now working there, I believe, right?
Yeah, he worked there.
He came out and posted a tweet last night or an Instagram post or something, but it was very interesting. I put it in the group text yesterday, Bailey. Clinton Dix came out and was like, so let me get this straight, because Alabama had a mid-year red shirt happen. Apparently, another kid, this is the new trend, T-Rich. Now we're redshirting halfway through the season. And said something that I said last night. So wait up. We're going to just scrap being developed, scrap working on our craft, scrap playing for reps, scrap being ready. If I do enter the portal, so I'm ready at a new school, we're going to just scrap that, enter the portal now, and sit there. I'm trying to figure out what part of the game is this. And I was surprised that he had the nuts to come out and say that as he works at Nebraska or at Alabama, when an Alabama kid just entered the portal, the mid-year portal. It's very interesting. What's your take on text or tweet and then this kid leaving during the middle of the season?
Man, I'm going to tell you like this. One of the realest. He was groomed by us. Like my last year, I think might have been his freshman year. And already had made a name for himself, coming in and playing as a freshman at Alabama, man. And he's a vetted, and in the league. Gonna say what he want to say, and he gonna always keep it real with you. He one of us. But the thing about it is, like, you gotta think about this, man. Like, why are we running? What are we running from? Like, okay, you didn't make the travel squad, so now you're gonna throw your own red shirt in there after you've been playing this whole time, and you go in the transfer portal. Like, what are we doing? Like, they're recruiting guys better than you, or they're going to get somebody that's already seasoned, them played, and that's not going to tuck their tail. Like,
hey, recruit to replace, right? Recruit to replace. That was Pete Carroll, that was Nick Saban, Urban Meyer. Recruit to replace.
Man, listen, when Mark went out the game, I went in. When I went out the game, Eddie Lacy went in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all had somebody that could play right now, and that was ready. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a new wave. I don't get this wave. I just don't. I can't fix myself to make my kid feel like it's okay to quit, to feel comfortable with just walking away. Like, if you're gonna do that, then like, what's your family life gonna be like? What have I taught you as a man?
this kid right here entered the portal, Jaheim Otis. Here's the thing, T. Rich. I never knew that we were supposed to create hard heads so we could create soft asses, because soft asses are created by hard.
Yeah, I didn't even see O got a lot of other stuff going on. And we had probably talk off screen, but I don't know if it's just that's going on.
A kid, a local high school kid, a Bama kid.
I think he's a Mississippi kid, if I'm not mistaken. He's Bama or Mississippi. But he got it's a lot of other stuff going on, and I don't put that on the Bama situation. He got a lot of stuff going on.
Like, we used to create kids though, like, to get them ready for life, as Nick Saban just said there. Coach Saban said on that podium, we used to get them ready for life. I've never seen a more enabled group of kids, entitled group of kids. But somebody's enabling the entitlement. The kid didn't just wake up and learn how to be entitled. Somebody's enabling them. And it's the adults. I'm sorry. The adults are enabling the kids and expecting them and teaching them to be entitled. Demand more. Give less. Earn less. Think you're worth more. Like,
and see what's happening, JB, is when them guys get to guys like you, Coach Saban, Kirby, guys is going to fight for them, right? The guys is going to make them, work. That's going to let them know that. And when y'all all are protecting us, y'all protected our surroundings to be away from the muds that's pulling on us and telling us that we are this and that and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And so when they get outside of that circle, when they leave the house, I don't know what my kids going to do. I tell people that all the time. I know how I raise my kids at home, but when they leave, I don't know what they doing. And so to even think about that, like the mindset of these kids when they don't have that you around, that Nick around, that Kirby around, everybody can put their hands on them now.
T-Rich, that's why I used to recruit the mama, not the kid.
Yeah,
I recruited the parent, because the parent knew that if I got in your baby's ass, it was for the good and nothing more. I have no intention on bringing your son to wherever I was to screw them over. It does me no good. It does your son no good. Why would I do that? I said, ma'am, if I'm going to babysit your kid for more hours a day than any other human on earth, then you need to let me be the on-campus daddy, mama, mentor, coach, teacher, whatever, employer, whatever you want to call me. But I promise you, your son's in good hands. And when the mama bought in over time and recruiting them for year or whatever, then I knew I had the kid, and the kid was done. Like, that's just what it is. I recruited Jermaine Johnson, who's a Pro Bowler now for the Jets, who got hurt. I never even talked to Jermaine for a long time. It was his mom. I knew everything that was going on. It was a done deal already. Like, these cats nowadays, LSU offer them on Twitter. Motherfucker, you don't know nothing that's going on. Like you just mentioned, something could be going on with this kid right here. You just mentioned something could be going on with this kid right here. Do we know? Do we really know the ins and outs? Because if we did, I would find it hard-pressed that a kid would leave me. KD on the show on Last Chance U had his brother get killed. His sister died. Another in his family died. And he wanted to go home. And I brought him in. He crying. And I'm like, dog, if I let you go home, you going to go do what? I'm going to go find who shot my brother. Really? So your mama going to lose another son. Like, that's what these cats don't have. Huh? They don't have a cat to sit in there and be like, so you're going to go do. By the way, the worst thing in the world is for their mama to lose their son before they go. And now you want to lose your son? You want to lose 3 kids from your mom. You just lost your son, sister and your brother. And you want to go be the 3rd one. No, you need to stay your ass right here and get your mama out the mud. See, these motherfuckers don't teach that shit no more. They don't care about these kids, dog. I truly believe they don't care about these kids like we used to. I'm just telling you, because it's all about money now, and the NCAA is allowed.
Just even on a different fact, man, I had a kid come up to me, man. We were talking about, you know, his next thing, because the kid got all the ability in the world, you know, and to make it to the next level, he was just telling me that his sister just had a baby. Younger sister had a baby, so he gonna have to take care of her. He's gonna have to do what he had to do for her. And I'm like, what you mean? Coach, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. You know, I can make fast money and make sure that. I'm like, hold on. Wait, say what? So before you know it, you know, I'm on the phone with the parents like, hey, is this the situation? Because we, you know, make sure the kid is, you know, going the right road.
Don't take their word for it. Don't take no kid's word.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm talking to the parents. They're like, no, he don't. His sister's having a baby, yeah, but he don't even have to live like that. That's not, you know. And talk to the dad. Dad tell me that he done went through some stuff when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't want him to go through that. Man, save my son, keep my son out of whatever. I don't want him to be like me.
T. Rich, you know how many times I get the kid to come in there smelling like weed, smoking his life away. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then, oh, I'm struggling because my family back home struggling. Woo. I get on the phone, call mama. Fuck he talking about, coach? I make 300 racks a year. I work for the goddamn government. What's he talking about? You know how many fake-ass good boys you run across if you don't have a relationship with the parent, to my point. These kids, if you trust them like these coaches nowadays do, they're going to screw you every time. Stop trusting kids, A, and B, do your due diligence and build a relationship with someone else other than the kid, because the mama, the auntie, the grandma, whoever the caller is, will tell you the truth. And the mama just tell me, coach, smack that motherfucker for me. He lying like a motherfucker. That motherfucker, I can send him whatever he wants. And I was always wondering, kid always got a new Jordan. I'm like, you ain't struggling, motherfucker. Shut your ass up. You're just using this weed as an excuse and as a crutch because you're a fake-ass good boy and you want to be like your homies on some rap video. And I said, guess what? Your ass is going to be working for a motherfucker with my skin tone, Bobby Bruce, and he going to fire your ass because you late to work smelling like weed. But I'm the asshole. See what I'm saying? And that's what I know Nick did to y'all. I know Pete Carroll did it at SC.
Man, Nick, listen, I ain't talking to Nick I talk to Nick a lot, but Nick talked to my mama more than anything. And I'm going to be real. Like, my mom, like, he told me when I moved off campus my sophomore year. He won't let you. No, I moved off into my freshman year. He won't let me move off. He won't let you move off till you in your sophomore year. And it was crazy for me with the fans and stuff like that. And so he let me move off. And he told me straight up. He told my mama. He set my mama down. He said, Trina, you the only one that's allowing over there, and you know, letting you have hands on him. You gonna be the one checking on him. This and that. Man, my mom used to come do doggone checks once every other week or something like that. Just pop up out of nowhere. I don't care what time it was. And I knew deep down because coach, you know, wanted to make sure I was straight. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to make sure everything was straight over there. And so, man, like when you think about it now, like, bro, like this is what I want protected from at the next level. I didn't have a Nick Saban. I didn't have a Coach JB. Like, nah, you just a check. You just another check. You just another number.
You fucking right.
That's what it is. Right. Tell you that. Yeah,
great point. That's what it is right now. T-Rich, I was the head coach at Compton. I was the youngest head coach in the country in college at the time in JUCO at Compton College, my alma mater. And I bring in all these Florida boys in. I bring a bunch of kids in from all over the country, Georgia boys. I brought all these dudes. Then I got my LA kids. So there's an intertwine of every hood in the country real quick in the worst hood at the time in Compton. Buddy of mine, rest in peace, Bruce Walker, legendary Compton Dominguez, played at UCLA, first-round draft pick by the Eagles. Passed away a few years ago, coaching his son on the football field, on a Pop Warner football field, coaching his own son, swallowed his tongue on a seizure. Bruce Walker gave me one of his houses, and I housed in a 5-bedroom house in the hood, but everyone in that neighborhood knew me, knew him. It was I had some Florida boys in there. I had some other cats in there. And I had coaches on clock. And if they didn't go by them houses, and I had 6 houses in Compton with kids housed in them. If California and JUCO knew that, I would have been fired anyway. But anyway, that's what we did. And if I found out a coach didn't go by, and we called it drive-by in a good way, better go do a drive-by. You drive by it, checklist. You went by the Florida house. We called it the Florida house, T-Rich. We called it the Georgia house. We called it the Bama house. Whatever the kids were, we put them together, make sure they were cool. And then we had some LA kids sprinkled in that were far away. And if you didn't check on them, I fired your ass. The kids were first. Let a kid get killed on your watch as a coach and see how fucking much coaching future you have. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, you brought this kid out here and promised their mama what you were going to do for him. You're going to graduate him. You're going to get him to college, which I've done more than any other coach in the country in JUCO. And guess what? Make sure their ass don't die on my watch. When I told the mama they're coming to Compton. Compton? I ain't sending my baby to Compton. That's the recruiting process starts right there. I ain't sending my kid. I ain't sending my kid to Compton. Man, I got you.
The time I seen Coach Saban, right? The 2 times I seen him like break down to where it was like, okay, like this ain't just a coach. Like he understand. So we had a football player get robbed on Wednesday and shot. Brandon Didrick. He got robbed, got shot, playing against Virginia Tech that Saturday. He played that Saturday. But he went into, when we had the meeting, hey, this is what y'all, this is what the process is. Hey, you can have my wallet, you can have my phone, you can have, you can have that too. Hey.
You taught it.
Yeah, you taught it. But the thing about it, like I seen Nick at a different level because we had a guy overdose going into my junior year, that spring of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, that spring of the sophomore year, going into my junior year, we had a player that transferred in for Tennessee, overdosed when he went back home. And man, it was one of them things the way I seen Nick react. We had that go on, we had the tornado going on, but the way I seen him react was like, damn, like coach really do care. Like, man, like he got closer to us, like he opened up more, like you know what I'm saying? It was a different type of love. And it was just one of them things like, man, I don't care what nobody say. That dude, people can say what they want to say. He gonna coach you hard. He gonna be a father figure to you, and he gonna protect you. That man, it took him up that one of his football players overdosed. And he probably knew the kid. Maybe he was with us maybe a month. How long was spring? What, a month or two? Yeah, went through spring, about a month. And that took Nick up, man. And it changed the projective of what people would say to me about, man, he was just mean, and he was just mean, coaches, this and that. Because he really didn't coach me. I was on the offensive side. When I seen that part of him, it was just like, man, like, I get it. Like, coach, you get it. Like, it means more than just a job.
I used to grab my kid. I pull up on a kid. I had a Florida group of kids, Haitian boys. They roll around in this Jeep. Everglades, Deerfield Beach, some Dillard kids. They roll around together in this Jeep, flying around Compton. So me and my boys, I got some of my boys, man, real story. And you could ask them to this day. My boy Steve Tyragine, he now works with Kodak Black. He does music production. He was a big-time wide receiver of mine from Deerfield Beach. I had a guy named Big Buddha who was a big tackle for mine. Went to Auburn after I had him. I had some boys mask up in Compton, and we rolled up on their ass, and they pulled that thing on them and everything. Motherfucker, slow down. Coach AB said, you tripping. We're going to find your ass. I told you. These motherfuckers, Florida boys, was so goddamn scared. And then I got out the car and came right up to this motherfucker. I grabbed this motherfucker. You motherfuckers, I've been telling you dumbasses to stop. This ain't your hood. Like, people don't realize, respect the hood you're in. I don't care if it's you think it's shitty or not hard or what. Man. So I used to teach these lessons, dog. Like, especially being from Compton, I'm probably a little different than, and plus, I wouldn't do that at the D1 level, T-Rich, but in JUCO, you got to be above and beyond. It's called shock treatment, so that they don't go and get arrested in college like the Georgia kid just got today, who's a JUCO kid. Lackawanna JUCO kid, another Georgia kid in the news. Kobe Young arrested for assault on an unborn child. This is the life lessons that T-Rich and I are discussing today, because this is the shit that we're seeing at all-time high, and it's a new trend that it's cool now because you get bag of money. See, that's the thing. I snatch his NIL so goddamn fast. I mean, now we're talking about just criminal acts. Like, this ain't even no football shit. This is just, but guess what? A JUCO kid. I never had a kid arrested under my watch leave me and go to Georgia and go to Alabama and go these places and do this type of shit. But I'm the asshole, huh? Hate me now, love me later, T-Rich. That's why I named the book what I named it. Because hate me now, love me at the end when you get to the NFL or get a degree or get a real fucking job. I mean, that just is what it is. I got to ask you real quick, this to your topic. This just happened. This is a Dodgers pitcher, T. Rich, who got his $100,000 watch snatched just yesterday right here at Santa Anita Park. This is happening with these young-ass kids because the adults in the room are allowing it and not coaching it. And I hope he just said, here, dog. There you
go. That's yours. What you want? Hat?
Hey, man, it's just mind-boggling to me. We just saw the 49er kid, Persall, get snatched up in Frisco. They're coming after y'all, man. These pro athletes better fucking be on a head on a swivel, and you better get security, and you better stop flossing. Because these cats now, if they can kill a rapper sitting in a restaurant, they're definitely coming at you now because they don't care no more because we have laxed on all rules, regulations. The cats ain't going to jail for smashing and grabbing no more. And cats, there's no consequences. These kids think they can run amok and be fine. Before you get out, T-Rich, I got to get your take, though. On this Dan Patrick show, they had the QB from Vanderbilt, who's a JUCO kid. And that's what I've been telling guys. Don't stop recruiting JUCO because if you do, number one, JUCO will implode. There'll be no more talent to get. And B, they're hard-nosed kids usually. We got ones that fuck up. We got ones that are hard-nosed. This is the same kid that was at New Mexico last year who beat Auburn. And I know T-Rich likes that. But he did not like this one when this Vanderbilt quarterback beat Alabama. But he tells Dan Patrick this. Take a listen.
Do you think you were going to win this game?
We had a feeling from the start. Like we just say it's any given Saturday. CJ Taylor actually said in his interview, like a lot of people were going to be surprised at the outcome.
No, you didn't. You didn't think you were going to win. Stop.
I think he said it on last Wednesday, and that's just the reality of it. It's any given Saturday, and we just came out, and it was who's better that Saturday, and we were.
Take me back to the pregame speech. Any fire and brimstone, yelling, screaming, banging things before the game?
Big low. So Stephen Hubbard, 54 on the O line. He likes to get after it, and he says you ain't on S word. And he just likes to talk his stuff. And then me before the game, I'm hyped. I got my family behind me supporting me too. So it's just all good vibes, and then go in and just play your best football.
How's morale on campus?
T-Rich, he basically said Alabama at the coin flip was talking shit, whoop-de-whoop, as they should. I mean, it is what it is. You ain't beat us, win. Ever? When the last time Vanderbilt beat Bama? I would love to know that. I have no idea. But listen, Jerry Kill's a good friend of mine. He's now coaching over there with Clark Lee, who's taking over the Vanderbilt program. James Franklin also did pretty well at Vanderbilt. They beat Florida one year with Urban. They beat Georgia one year. So this isn't the first time Vanderbilt's had a little bit of noise. But beating Alabama, T-Rich, is kind of like historic. I think 1984 was the last time y'all lost to them. It is what it is. Football now, to me, is watered down, T-Rich. I think anybody could beat anybody. It's like college basketball in the NCAA tournament to me. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and when you think about it, man, like, shoot, teams want beating Duke. You know what I'm saying? In basketball, like, like that's a good point, man. But I ain't no way you woke up saying that y'all just gonna win. I know you felt like, hey, this is my time. This is my time to go get drafted. This is my time to go get seen. Everything I don't, fought for. You definitely gave yourself that mentality in that speech. Now, to say that y'all just gonna go out there and win, come on now. Let's be real. But I get it. You had a mentality. I get it. We
all gotta have that. Hopefully, you all have it to go out there on any given Saturday. We've seen teams defeated before when they get off the bus, right? We've seen those teams. We're like, we know we got these motherfuckers. And then there's teams that are like, oh, these motherfuckers want to come play, huh? And so, like, there's a different,
But he's one of those guys, though, man. Like, they got to realize, bro, like, when we go play, when you got this on, when you represent that, like, everybody is hungry. Not that they want to eat. They are hungry. So when they're hungry, they're going to find a way to eat. They're going to find a way to make. No, they got to find a way. It's a difference between somebody want to eat. Right now, y'all want to eat. Like, y'all got the stuff up. Y'all just need somebody to make it for y'all. Like, it's a difference. Like
doubt.
but y'all got to get hungry, and that's
Gimme.
every Saturday. Yeah, that gimme what got you here. Like, come on, man. Like,
It's just a gimme world, man. Gimme world, man.